Kushner discussed secret line to Moscow, U.S. media reports. Donald Trump's son-in-law explored the possibility of setting up a secret line of communication with Moscow, according to U.S. media reports. Jared Kushner is said to have discussed creating the channel during a meeting in December, reports in The Washington Post and New York Times said. The senior White House aide has not commented on the latest reports. Mr. Kushner is understood to be under scrutiny by the FBI as part of its wider investigation into Russian links. Reports in the U.S. say investigators believe he has relevant information, but he is not necessarily suspected of a crime. The most recent reports, which cited U.S. officials as sources, said Mr. Kushner had spoken with Moscow's ambassador, Sergei Kislyak, about setting up a back channel using Russian diplomatic facilities in America. This could be used to discuss Syria and other policy issues. According to both reports, Mr. Trump's first national security advisor Michael Flynn was present at the meeting, held at Trump Tower in New York. The New York Times said the line was never established. The Washington Post had already reported FBI investigators were focusing on meetings Mr. Kushner held last year with Mr. Kislyak, as well as a banker from Moscow, Sergei Gorkov. General Flynn was forced to resign in February after it emerged that he had misled other administration officials about the extent of his contacts with Mr. Kislyak. U.S. intelligence agencies believe Moscow tried to tip November's presidential election in favor of Republican Mr. Trump, who went on to beat Democratic rival Hillary Clinton. But President Trump has described the Russia's investigations as the single greatest witch hunt of a politician in American history. Mr. Kushner's lawyer has previously said his client would cooperate with any inquiry. Jared Kushner, con RVOI Donald Trump. THIVOINA King and GUI Kong Kokin Niem Truok De Kuachin Fu, Jared Kushner Detik Lui De Simulot Kakoso Dankin and GAC Tronquan Liku Chow Trong Luat Kuong Tiang Thing Donald Trump. NGUI Danong 36 to I, Kokin Niem Lam VIEC Chin Truok Du, Dang Du Hun Kong Tai BT Dong San Kua B, La CVN Sao CP Kua Tiang Tulen. MC Du Kong Ko Biang CPY Gao Nung Du Si Gao Nim Vukong Et Thatch THC Hun La GIAI Koep Sung Gia Israel VA Palestine. Ong Kushner, NGUI Doc at Hun VOI Kong Gai Kuong Trump, Ivanka, Kong La CVN Chen Kua Tiang Thing V Kak Mi Quan He VOI Trung, Kusi, Mexico VA Canada. VA Ong Da Bai BUOC Toyland Dao Mo Van Fong NHA Tren Kua Bo Jin Fu, Noi Ko NHIU Tham Vong Tu VIEC Kai Kach Cham SOC Kua Siu Shen Bin DC Jing Lam Dung Ma Toi Mai. VA O Thang Tu, Ong Da Lam Cho Kak Tio DD Du Lich Den Iraqi Dapping Kak Tuong My VA Dam Fan VOI Kak Quan CHC Iraq. Mr. Trump has described Mr. Kushner, who accompanied him on his first visit to the White House after the election, as very good at politics. And his son-in-law seemed to justify this assessment during the 2016 White House campaign, proving himself adept at outmaneuvering rivals. When combative campaign manager Corey Lewandowski was fired before the election, it was reportedly Mr. Kushner who pushed for him to get the job. More recently, Mr. Kushner has clashed with White House chief strategist Steve Bannon, who has been sidelined as a result, according to reports. Jared Kushner was born and raised in Livingston, New Jersey, alongside two sisters and a brother. An Orthodox Jew, his grandparents were Holocaust survivors who arrived in the U.S. in 1949. His father Charles made his fortune as a New Jersey property mogul. The young Jared won a place at Harvard despite poor grades, according to Daniel Golden, author of The Price of Admissions, How America's Ruling Class Buys Its Way into Elite Colleges. The year of his admission, according to Mr. Golden's book, Charles Kushner donated $2.5 million to the university, along with similar one-off donations to Cornell and Princeton. In 2006, at just 25, Mr. Kushner bought the New York Observer, but his tenure was not plain sailing. The newspaper's respected editor of 15 years, Peter Kaplan, resigned 3 years after Mr. Kushner took over following clashes between the two. 6 other editors were recycled in quick succession over the next 7 years before Mr. Kushner severed ties to the Observer as he joined the White House. In 2008, he took over his family's company after his father was jailed for tax evasion, illegal campaign contributions and witness tampering. Mr. Kushner SNR had admitted setting up his own brother-in-law with a prostitute, secretly filming the liaison, and sending the tape to his sister in an effort to prevent them testifying against him. In 2009, Jared wed Ivanka Trump at a Trump golf club in New Jersey. They have 3 children. Mr. Kushner and Mr. Trump's apparent bond may be based in part at least on similar experiences. Both are political outsiders who inherited property empires from their fathers at a relatively young age. The Kushners own 666 Fifth Avenue, a Manhattan skyscraper just a few blocks from Trump Tower. Mr. Trump's father, Frederick Christ Trump, was also a controversial figure who was taken to court for alleged racial discrimination in housing allocation. But in contrast to his father-in-law, Mr. Kushner is seen as a composed and camera-shy personality. This fresh-faced, behind-the-scenes operator will have to face the spotlight when he is questioned as part of a Senate investigation into alleged links between the Trump campaign and the Kremlin. It has emerged that Mr. Kushner not only spoke to Moscow's ambassador in December 2016, but met the head of a U.S.-sanctioned, Russian state-owned bank. Mr. Kushner will be the closest person to the president quizzed in the ongoing congressional inquiry. He will no doubt find the inquiry an unwelcome distraction from his many other duties. Mr. Kushner will need to muster all his lauded political acumen to navigate the hearing. He will no doubt find the inquiry an unwelcome distraction from his many other duties. Mr. Kushner will need to muster all his lauded political acumen to navigate the hearing.